everybody, I'm Kimmie Rose, and this is your weekly vibe and mantra for July the 7th, all the way to the 13th of 2019 AD. And I don't know, people always say, you forgot to say AD. I think I only forgot it a few times, but so I will remember to say it, but I don't know why. I just say it. It just comes out, and I guess we all have our little things that people remember. I wanted to share with you for this weekly vibe is last week I was talking about the anger and craziness, all the stuff going on. Hopefully you were able to make your way through that time, because if you did, you will have set forth a whole lot of wonderful things for yourself in terms of your relationships and your relationship with yourself, as we are in a time period of great change. I laugh because usually when something big starts to happen, we end up getting like when an election is coming, it's like things start diverting our attention from us and the oneness that we all share. Usually something starts coming in, and what it does is it kind of wants to divide people instead of bring people together. So I would just ask you to remember that political things, religious things, all of those are personal, and to fight with one another would be to fight against each other, because truly we are one. And to let go of labels and to truly connect with the beauty of who you are and the beauty of the people that are around you. So this week, it's all about centering. It's all about just being present within your own vibrational field and within the mother, this womb of the mother. I talk about the womb of the mother many times, but cannot stress how important it is, especially if you're pregnant. Really think about it. When you carry a child in your belly, in your womb, and dads, you should get just as much credit, because you are responsible for that child. When you carry that child, that is a sacred thing. And then when you give birth, you cut that umbilical cord, which is the connection to you. Even though your child will spend several years with you learning and growing, you are cutting that cord and saying that I trust that when my child leaves my womb, it enters in the womb of the divine agreement that we make with the mother, which is Mother Earth. Think about how important that is, that you spent all these months, hopefully you have taken care of yourself, nurturing yourself, because your child was receiving what you gave. So would I ask you to take care of the womb of the mother for your children, or you, all those that you love, live in this sacred space. There's such an importance of sharing in that beauty. I love it this time of night. It's like 7:40 and the birds are singing. The mama birds are taking care of their babies. They've already flown. Many of them have left their nest. I have an acreage. A lot of people say, why do you have a fence behind you and you're sitting in that area? Well, the reason for that is this is my sacred area, that I have my many things. I have a little statue of Jesus and Buddha and the Blessed Mother, and there are many stones that I don't know if you can see. I'm going to tilt this back, but you'll see that there are stones. And these stones have little intentions written on them. So when people come to my house, they will come out here if they hear me talk about this, and they'll pick up stones and find stones that have blessings written on them. And that's so important, you know, to think about the blessings in our life. And that's what this week is about. Last week, it was really a lot of heavy-duty energy and anger. And I kept saying to people, think about healthy ways to be heard and to express. So not only did, you know, I was trying, I really wanted to help people not to get angry. Actually, even doing a radio show on, you know, the difference between rage, anger, you know, concern. There are some huge differences because rage can really, you can take you over. And I really believe rage is what turns people into murderers or abusers. And rage is dangerous. And rage against our mother is like rage against ourselves. This mother that we live on, and even your earth mother. So this is a time of really nurturing you. And this week's vibe is all about that. Last week I asked you if you didn't get a chance to watch last week's weekly vibe and mantra, I really set forth some really strong intentions. As I started with my book, Wake Up Your Intuition, I'm going through the process of waking up. And so a lot of people are saying to me, why are you doing that when you have, you've got a book release and you're going to be teaching that? Well, why wouldn't I want to share that? If you can learn these steps, you can actually learn how to live your life with more abundance. And people ask me all the time, how do I develop my intuition? It will also teach you how to develop and hone in your intuition. So we're gonna come through the second week, and I'm gonna stay with that first step, which is awareness, because this week is all about the vibe of awareness. Take time this week to really listen. And you hear me slowing my voice down, it's because I'm listening to the birds. I'm listening. I can even hear the crickets right now. And I can listen. I can hear the trees as the squirrels. I can see some squirrels moving about. Lay down on your bed and listen to your heartbeat. Feel your body. Go underwater. Listen to the water. Be still. Be still and know that I am part of all that is. The I am presence. This is a week where you are going to be able to in a magnetizing, magnificent way, draw to you the intentions or the things that you really want. And I want you to practice it, because we don't have many times during a course of, it's usually a 3-year period, and this is one of them, where we can manifest and we can really exercise the law of attraction. So I'm going to show you a little exercise and how to do that. And if you can imagine, like you have a V, we all have these V's on top of our head. And right now you're listening to me. You can hear my voice. You can see my eyes. You can see my smile. Now close your eyes. Hear my voice. Look at my face now. Don't look at the don't look at your, I'm looking at the camera. Don't look at the screen that you're watching. And sometimes when you listen to me, don't watch, listen. And picture me in your mind's eye. Can you picture me? Can you see your house, where you live, apartment, yurt, wherever it is? Can you feel the wind, the gentle wind? Can you taste an apple? Can you hear it crunch? Can you smell it? Can you feel it? Can you feel what it feels like when someone is holding a child and that child cries? Can you hear a child screaming? Can Can you hear my fingers, my nails running down a chalkboard? Now, open your eyes. As I was talking, and I started at the V, the top of the V, I started with the conscious mind. You can see me in your conscious mind. And then I opened the doorway when I had you close your eyes into your subconscious, which is the next level of connecting. Now I'm teaching you the law of attraction. So you're tuning into your 5 senses: smell, taste, touch. Anybody know the other one? Hearing. What's the other one? Smell, taste, touch. Smell, taste, touch. And touch is feeling also. That's my favorite one. Hearing. And then seeing. So when you can develop seeing beyond the veil, which is in the subconscious realm, that's where you close your eyes and you can taste a lemon. You can practice these. See something beyond what you're seeing in front of you. And that exercise I just did, rewind this and practice it. Your neurotrophins in your brain, this is like when you go out and you exercise and you lift weights, will start getting so developed that you will start getting messages and you will be able to see the way I do. I always see movies when I talk to people. I can actually see them in my mind's eye. I can, what they're talking about, I've got this movie, and it's like, I can tell them. I trust it, and I just go right into what is coming to me. You have the ability to do that too. There's the step. It's that subconscious level. Then you open up the doorway to the unconscious, which stores. It takes pictures, snapshots of whatever we see, feel. How do we know what a lemon tastes like, or an apple? Or that's where unconscious opens up. So as we're opening up, we're here consciously seeing, then we go into these sensory modalities, then we're automatically opening the doorway to the unconscious, which is giving, so it's actually bringing energy down to us, and it's moving energy up. And as the unconscious opens it up, so we're using our senses, and we're connecting it with conscious and subconscious, all the feelings, and then anything we've ever experienced, we move into the collective. And that is the realm where all our thoughts, feelings, everyone's, we all intermix, we all can connect. When people do astral travel, when they do communication, or if you just get a feeling somebody's going to call and they call, you are connecting on that collective realm. The way you can connect was the exercise I just showed you, just by closing your eyes. And what I do during my weekly vibe and mantra is I use some different vocal tones. I don't know if you've noticed that, or I use sounds, or I will use my hands or expression. And I always like to show people different things. And that's so your unconscious mind will get messages. Be interesting for you to really take the time and think about some of the past weekly vibe and mantras and see if you get any feelings based on certain things I'm doing this week that might connect you to things from last week or possibly the week before. Your intuition is always taking snapshots. And believe it or not, this week you're going to be so sensitive that can be so fine-tuned, but it can also tune you in other ways. For instance, if you have a bad experience and you get a bad feeling, like a feeling, if you hold that feeling, for instance, guacamole, here's a good one. When I was a kid, I remember going on a boat and I got really sick. I was eating guacamole. And so as I got older, I realized that, guacamole, yuck. Like anytime I even thought about it, it just would make me sick, or even seeing it. That's what I'm talking about. See, these experiences become like impressions in our physical body, on our physical body, and those impressions express themselves into our lives as we go through our lives. So, really focus on if you have a negative experience and say to yourself, I choose not to hold this. And what will happen is those things that once triggered you will no longer affect you. I promise that. If you get a bad feeling, or here's another one. I remember somebody doing something to me of mistrust. And it was on St. Patrick's Day. And for a longest time, I remember, I don't want to celebrate that day because I got so hurt on that day. And you know, I had forgotten about what happened. And I still would look at St. Patrick's Day as like a negative, it was like a stigma, you know, like, ugh, I don't like that. And then I realized what it was about. And then I said, I'm going to release this. This is silly. This is an old pattern. So I went in, closed my eyes, went to the memory, realized that that memory was no longer part of my life. I didn't have. Why would I hold that? And I let it go. This is the key this week. Some of the jealousies you hold, some of the insecurities you hold are patterns or experiences from your past that are affecting you in the now that can affect your relationships, whether it be mistrust or perhaps you don't like going to a certain place. Maybe you fell. Here's one. When I was a kid, I was scared to death of going on a roller coaster because I went on this roller coaster and I was really skinny. And I remember almost falling out, bouncing out of this roller coaster. Actually, it was at Cedar Point. It was the Blue Streak. And I was like, I'm never going on a roller coaster again. And just a couple years ago, I remember saying, my daughter's like, oh yeah, Mom's going to go on a roller coaster with us. I'm like, yeah, I am. Because that's just a fear. And they have fun, and my daughter is really thin, and I think I can have fun on that roller coaster if I just let my body meditate and just let myself free. And so, if anybody knows of the Magnum or like some of those really big roller coasters at Cedar Point, and if you haven't been there, no matter where you're from, you got to check out Cedar Point. It's in Sandusky, Ohio, and it is a blast. I put my arms up through the whole, all the roller coasters, and I was just flowing. I had a blast. I didn't close my eyes down the hills. I smiled for the little pictures that they took, and my girls are just going, hey, wait a minute, our older siblings told us, and you've always been afraid. Matter of fact, Mom, you always like to go to the kiddie rides, but now the kids aren't little. So I never excuse anymore, right? And not that I think anybody should be pressured, but you can get past your fears. And you can actually have a better life. You can actually feel healthier. Because believe it or not, our emotions are what hold our pain. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I have a wonderful doctor now he's a neurologist, and he teaches me so much, Dr. Mustafa. He's taught me a lot about that. He goes, you gotta love yourself. You gotta think about these things. You gotta be treated good and treat people good. I love him. Maybe he'll see this someday. And it's so nice to have someone, a doctor in your life that understands that understands vibration. And of course, I would think a neurologist would, but he doesn't like fill me with a bunch of stuff. Here, don't feel. He understands how I feel. So when we're calling someone a name or we're separating ourselves from someone, know that you're going to feel something from that. And if you're not conscious of what your actions are, this week you will be. So take care of the way you express yourself. And wake up. The gifts that you never thought were possible. So many people say, I can't use my intuition. I'm like, you were born with it. Children have it. You were born with it. Remember the little things I do. The little things I say. Just like when I said it, 2019 AD, people, boom, why didn't you say that? These are patterns. when you move up into the collective, you can think a thought, and when you're that clear with that thought, create a picture of it, a sound, a taste, a smell, feeling. You watch. I remember doing this with my dog. I wanted to get a Pomeranian. Within 3 days, somebody said, I have a Pomeranian. Does anybody want a baby? Because it's just a little bit smaller than the other dogs, and we sold most of the litter, and I had a Pomeranian. I did the same thing with my Amazon parrot. Somebody actually was meditating, and I had said to my husband, didn't even hear me say it, didn't even know her. And she got the message because she heard my voice on the radio. She wants an Amazon parrot. She came into my office and said, I have a baby for you. And I was like, what? Even a baby? I already have. No, I have. So at that time I had 3. Now I have 5 children. But it was a Amazon parrot. All you gotta do is put it out there and connect. It's that easy. You can feel it. The V. So if we all have these V's, that means we're all connected, like Carl Jung said, the collective unconscious. There's a little bit about my book, Wake Up Your Intuition. It's very scientific, it's very logical, it's very intuitive. And there are other exercises like numerology and different things in it that help you to kind of use all the tools to use what's naturally yours. It's not weird, it's real, it's part of you. And with that, let's do our weekly mantra. Did you hear that? I'm going to ring the bell. Close your eyes. One more time? Okay. I can hear you. Give you a little bit longer sound. And a Om. Close your eyes. I am open to all that I am. I hold the ability within every cell, every fiber, and every part of my being. For my physical body is the house of my soul, and I am awake. I am one with all that is. Peace to you. Thank you for joining me this week, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And never forget how special you are. And if you would like to call for an appointment for guidance, hypnosis, healing, or even you want to learn to open up your intuition, go over to KimmieRose.com, or you can download my app, Kimmie Rose. Gordon Harris, I want to thank him. He's doing great things with working on my, so much. He's working on my website, and there's going to be so many fun things for you to do to develop your intuition. And my book, Wake Up Your Intuition, which will be released, it's the 2nd edition, and the reason for that, you'll have to find out. There's more to it. And a learning manual. And I'll be starting my book signing tour in Honolulu, Hawaii, the end of September of 2019. Hope to see you there. More details coming. And also at the Artistry. I'll give you that much. That's the name of the venue. Remember that when you call for guidance, you're going to also receive a gift, and that's a gift with the ability to connect. And if you call, because my really strong gift is mediumship. Most people that I talk to, I'll share, but they get messages afterwards for themselves. So after we get off the phone, I always ask that whoever's with me walks with them. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Peace to you.
without the ends. And every breath of hers was a thorn in desire, and every petal's blushing red. It's on my fingertips, and my electric lights becoming